Hi, thanks for having me. We'll start to present now. My name is Tereza Havlikova. I am member of Center for NetScon, Center for Net Art, a small young initiative reconstructing, maintaining, and preserving net art and net culture in Berlin. And through our activities, we research the possibilities of contextualization of net art and digital art. And today I would like to show you our small online archive that we created last year for our project Calculating Control, Net Art and Cybernetics. Since 2019, our group has been a pioneer user in House of Statistics in Berlin, an urban project trying to rejuvenate an old, abandoned building in the center of the city. The location and the history of House of Statistics was a departure for the exhibition and research project Calculating Control, Net Art and Cybernetics. So working from the history of the House of Statistics, which used to operate as the central administrative headquarters for statistics of the German Democratic Republic, so East Germany, we explored the impact of cybernetics and the techno-utopia of the time on the artistic and social practices, and we traced the narrative kind of to the contemporary practices of data collecting and processing. As part of the project, we designed a small online archive, as you can see here. It includes resources and references related to topics such as GDR, data processing, as well as artworks, and especially net art. The references can be books, websites, artworks, videos, or lectures. The archive really depicts a very specific and subjective cluster of interconnected topics that can be filtered through these curated texts. Some are more specific, like House of Statistics, or data processing, and some are more abstract, like magic or utopia. The archive was built by using or misusing the open source software for bibliographies Zotero, which is primarily deployed in academic communities. The research assistant program works as the input mask for the entries, as well as a control panel for the archive. So by adding specific tags and related entries, the structure of the archive can be directly shaped here in Zotero. But the Zotero software does not only determine the entries and the structure of the archive, but also controls the whole website. So by adding specific texts, such as hashtag unconference or hashtag exhibition, the website displays information about the events that took place. So in this way, the archive is very much intertwined with the project, and it also additionally creates space for the documentation of the project itself. The particularities and including its dysfunctionalities of Zotero database imprint themselves into the website architecture, making the structure of the hidden database kind of visible, for example, through the cryptic entry codes or text, or automatically grab technical details about the publications. So strictly speaking, Calculating Control Archive does not archive the source material, the books or the artworks related to the project. Rather, it works as a collection of references that can be connected in many different ways. And I like to call this archive a research-based archive. The structure of this research-based archive allows making new links between net art and other historical artifacts and references. Here is an example of an entry by the artist group Montreal and their work Natural Heritage and Natural Selection. And as you can see here, both in Zotero and online, here are all sorts of different texts and entries related or assigned to that artwork. The archive is preserving the process of the research, as well as some parts of the project, stretching the definition of archive to its limits. Even though it might seem that such an archive doesn't fulfill really its function as an agency for long-term preservation of net art, I would argue that it's not an empty archive. Rather than being focused on one singular medium or an art period, this research-based archive introduces one possible narrative in which specific net artworks can be entered. So it connects net art to local history, as well as a discourse outside of art historian field. Because of the nature of net art, and especially early net art that is spread on the internet, often located on a unique domain, the usual tools for centralized archive might not be available. So for net art, one possible way to establish a canon is by continuous reconnection to different narratives and contexts, and especially online. Projects like Calculate and Control Archive support the circulation of net art, and the collective online memory, connecting it to different narratives and discourses and stabilizing its position in this emerging